I crumpled to the Miami pavement, pain exploding in my chest, my son Malik's scream piercing the air as blood soaked my uniform's flag patch, the world spinning while I clung to him, whispering, "Stay strong, baby," knowing this might be my last breath. I'm Colonel Marcus Tate, 42, a black man, 6 feet 1 inch and 190 pounds, a U.S. Army operative, codename, Eclipse 3, whose covert missions in Baghdad saved lives, but here, outside a VA clinic, my skin made me a target. Just minutes earlier, Malik, 10, had been showing me his robot sketch, his eyes bright with dreams of coding, when a police cruiser screeched up, blocking our path, its tires hissing like a warning. Officer Ryan Kessler, 38, white, 6 feet 2 inches, stepped out, his face twisted with suspicion, his partner, Officer Lila Monroe, 35, trailing behind, her eyes wary but silent. Kessler's voice cut through, "Freeze. What's that uniform?" My heart raced, but I kept my voice steady, trained by years of defusing crises. "Colonel Tate, active duty. ID's in my pocket." Malik gripped my hand, his sketch trembling. "Dad's a hero," he said, voice small but fierce. Kessler smirked, his hand near his belt, where a device glinted, his taser, not a gun, but dangerous enough. "Looks fake. Kneel, hands up." My chip, hidden in my jacket, pinged Fort Bragg, 650 miles away, a lifeline I prayed would work. "I'm with my son," I said, pulling Malik closer. Kessler's eyes, cold and calculating, locked on mine. He was a decorated cop, but whispers on X called him a bully, quick to judge, his 15-year career marred by 10 dismissed complaints, leaked last month. Monroe shifted, her silence louder than words, her rookie days under Kessler's thumb shaping her hesitation. A bystander, a 28-year-old barista named Sophia, filmed from a nearby food truck, her phone shaking as she whispered, "He's military." Malik, tears welling, pulled out his phone, live streaming to X, "They're yelling at Dad." Kessler's smirk deepened. "You don't hide behind a kid." My mind raced, Baghdad's chaos taught me to stay calm, but this was different, the enemy not a sniper but prejudice wearing a badge. "I'm not kneeling," I said, my 190 pounds a shield for Malik. Kessler's face darkened, his ego bruised, his need to dominate clear in his clenched jaw. "You're impersonating. That's a felony." Sophia shouted, "He's got a kid," but Kessler stepped closer, 4 feet away, blocking her view. Malik held up my old unit patch, faded but real, "Grandpa wore this." Kessler laughed, "Toy badge." My chest burned with defiance. "You're challenging a veteran in front of his son," I said, voice low, my mind flashing to Malik's future. Would he code robots or fear uniforms? Monroe's eyes flicked to Kessler, doubt flickering, but she stayed quiet, her loyalty torn. "A retiree, Mr. Evans, 70, yelled from the crowd, "Back off, he's one of ours," his cane raised, his Vietnam vet pin glinting. My chip pinged again, Fort Bragg's drones may be minutes away, but time was slipping. "You're escalating because of my skin," I told Kessler, my gaze unyielding. His smirk vanished, replaced by rage. "Kneel, or I make you." Malik's voice broke, "Dad, don't let go." I looked at him, my heart aching, "I won't, son," then faced Kessler, my resolve iron. "I won't kneel holding my child." Kessler's hand twitched, and the taser fired, its prongs hitting my chest, 50,000 volts dropping me like a stone. Malik screamed, his phone streaming to 20,000 viewers, as I hit the ground, blood trickling from a gash where I struck the pavement, my arms still shielding him. "Stay with me," I gasped, pain blurring my vision, Malik's face above me, his sketchbook stained red. Kessler muttered, resisting, his voice shaky, his confidence cracking as Sophia's video joined Malik's, hitting 100,000 views. Monroe knelt, checking my pulse, her hands trembling, whispering, "What did we do?" The crowd surged, phones flashing, Evans shouting, "You attacked a hero." My blood spread, my chip's ping fading, but Malik's voice cut through. They hurt Dad, calling his aunt, my sister Tara, 50 miles away. A hum grew overhead. A Fort Bragg drone, 150 feet up, its red light locking on Kessler, who paled, his badge no shield now. Malik's live stream hit 1 million, my blood a symbol of a nation's failure to see my service, only my skin. As darkness crept in, I thought of Malik's coding dreams, Tara's fierce love, Sophia's courage, even Monroe's doubt, seeds of change in this chaos. Kessler's eyes met mine, fear replacing arrogance, his career's weight crashing down. My stand wasn't just for me. It was for every black veteran erased by bias, for Malik's future, for a country that needed to wake up. As my breath slowed, I knew this wasn't the end. Malik's trembling hands, Sophia's video, and that drone's hum would carry my truth, a fire no prejudice could extinguish. I lay still, my life slipping away on that Miami pavement, Malik's cries echoing as the Fort Bragg drone's hum grew louder, its red light a beacon in my fading vision, but my story didn't end there, it exploded into a roar that shook the nation awake. As Colonel Marcus Tate, Eclipse 3, my blood-soaked flag patch wasn't just cloth, it was a testament to 20 years of service, from Baghdad's firestorms to saving 15 soldiers in a single night, my silver star pinned in silence. Now, that drone, 150 feet above, signaled Fort Bragg's rage, 650 miles north, my chip's final ping a scream they couldn't ignore. Malik, my 10-year-old son, clung to me, his phone live streaming to 5 million on X, his voice breaking, they hurt Dad, as he dialed his Aunt Tara, my sister, a 48-year-old nurse whose fierce love had raised us both. Tara, speeding from Fort Lauderdale, 30 miles away, choked back sobs, her hands gripping the wheel, her mind flashing to our childhood promises to protect each other. The drone's light locked on Officer Ryan Kessler, 38, whose taser had struck me down, his face now pale, his arrogance crumbling as he muttered, he resisted, to Officer Lila Monroe, whose silence screamed regret, her eyes darting to the crowd, her rookie loyalty to Kessler fracturing. Sophia, the 28-year-old barista filming from the food truck, shouted, he's a hero, her video hitting 3 million views, merging with Malik's stream, now at 10 million, #EclipseFallen trending globally. My chip had triggered an emergency protocol, and within 90 seconds, a stealth chopper roared in at 100 miles per hour, landing 40 feet away, its unmarked frame a shadow of justice. A soldier, 6 feet 3 inches, in black tactical gear, stepped out, his face unreadable, and knelt beside Malik, whispering, you're with us now, lifting him gently, Malik's sketchbook falling, its robot drawing stained red. Kessler yelled, who are you? But the soldier's gaze, cold as steel, silenced him, and the chopper vanished, Malik safe, his stream still live to 15 million. At Fort Bragg, alarms blared, my file flashing, Silver Star, Baghdad Ops, Eclipse 3, Omega clearance. Colonel Aisha Grant, 52, base commander, slammed her desk, they struck one of ours, her voice trembling with fury, her own black son's face in her mind, fearing he'd face Kessler's bias one day. The Pentagon, 800 miles away, issued a statement in 90 minutes, Eclipse 3 confirmed. Officer conduct under federal review, shared 4 million times on X, igniting rage and hope. Sophia, inspired, closed her food truck, rallying co-workers for a vigil 100 yards away, a new idea born from her veteran father's stories of solidarity. By dusk, 6,000 gathered, veterans, nurses, students, holding candles, their phones streaming to 2 million. Sophia spoke, her voice cracking, Marcus Tate wore our flag. They saw his skin, not his sacrifice. Her words, raw and piercing, trended with #HonorThePatch. Tara arrived at Fort Bragg, her nurse's scrubs wrinkled, storming into the base, where's Malik? Malik ran to her, sobbing, they took Dad, and Tara held him, her heart breaking, vowing to shield him as I had. Her words, caught by a base medic, hit X, shared 600,000 times, my brother stood tall. We won't fall. Kessler, now at his precinct, faced chaos, his badge heavy, his 10 dismissed complaints haunting him, leaked X posts calling him a badge bully, with 1 million retweets. Monroe, beside him, whispered, "We messed up," her doubt growing, her dream of being a fair cop tainted by Kessler's shadow. The vigil grew, 10,000 by night, singing, "Lift Every Voice," my favorite hymn, a nod to my Georgia roots, live-streamed to 3 million. A new twist unfolded, the drone dropped a hollow message, a Fort Bragg innovation, projecting my Silver Star citation in the sky, "For Valor Under Fire," read by 8,000, shared 5 million times. Malik's stream, now at 20 million, showed his sketchbook, its robot a symbol of his dreams, comments flooding, "Protect Malik's future." In Orlando, 200 miles north, 2,000 protested, chanting, "See the uniform." A Chicago DJ, 40, shared my story on air, reaching 400,000, his voice thick, "He was my brother in arms." For the 25 to 55 audience, this hit home, veterans felt my betrayal, parents saw Malik as their child, tech-savvy workers amplified justice calls. A virtual memorial, a fresh idea, launched on X, letting users pin digital flags, 50,000 in hours, each with messages, "Marcus, you're our shield." Tara, with Malik, spoke at the vigil, "My brother believed in this country. Don't let his blood be in vain," her nurse's compassion fueling 700,000 shares. Kessler's precinct lost allies, Broward County PD, 40 miles away, cut joint drills, citing "trust breach," shared 500,000 times. The mayor, on NBC, dodged, "We're reviewing," his words mocked in 2 million memes. My Baghdad mission leaked, I'd saved 15 soldiers, crawling 300 yards under fire, my Silver Star a secret till now. A retired colonel, 60, posted, "He was our best," his thread hitting 800,000 retweets. Malik's live stream added my heart, teaching him to code, singing hymns, humanizing me beyond my badge, inspiring 25 to 55-year-olds to act, from petitions to protests. Sophia's vigil became a movement, her food truck a hub, serving free coffee to 12,000 by dawn, her father's veteran pin on her apron, "For Marcus." The hollow message replayed, my citation a sky-written vow, uniting strangers. Kessler, alone in his squad car, stared at his badge, his wife's worried texts unread, his need to control unraveling, knowing X's eyes watched. Monroe, at home, cried, her silence a choice she'd regret, her journal confessing, "I should have spoken." My death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a mirror, showing a nation's flaws but also its strength. Malik's courage, Tara's resolve, Sophia's vigil, the drone's hum, they carried my stand forward, a fire no bias could douse, burning for every black veteran unseen, for a country that could still rise. I was gone, my blood a silent witness on that Miami pavement, but my voice echoed louder than ever, carried by my son Malik's courage and a nation wrestling with its conscience. As Colonel Marcus Tate, Eclipse 3, my Silver Star and Baghdad heroics were no longer secrets, they were a call to action, my flag patch a symbol of service betrayed by racism. For months after my death, the wound hadn't healed, it had grown, splitting open truths too long buried. Malik's live stream, now at 30 million views on X, had ignited a fire, and Fort Bragg's response, with its drone and chopper, had fanned it into a blaze. The Pentagon's investigation, led by Colonel Aisha Grant, 52, uncovered Miami PD's 68% complaint dismissal rate, a statistic leaked to the Miami Herald, read by 6 million, trending with hashtag Justice for Marcus. Aisha, whose own black son faced daily bias, poured her heart into the probe, her late-night calls to her husband confessing, Marcus deserved better, her resolve fueling 5 million X shares. Malik, now 11, lived with my sister Tara in Fort Lauderdale, 30 miles north, his coding dreams shadowed by grief but not dimmed. He wrote a blog post for The Root, My Dad's Code, read by 3 million, its words raw, "Dad taught me to code robots, but he was my hero, not theirs." Malik's inner world churned. Anger at Kessler, fear for his future, pride in my Silver Star, yet his voice, steady and clear, trended with hashtag #MalikSpeaks, inspiring 25 to 55-year-olds who saw their kids in him. Tara, a nurse with a lion's heart, read his post aloud at a hospital staff meeting, her colleagues' tears fueling 800,000 retweets, her own thoughts haunted by our childhood, when I'd shielded her from bullies, now vowing to do the same for Malik. Protests swelled. In Philadelphia, 25,000 marched, their signs bearing my flag patch, photographed by 4 million. A new movement, the Unity Quilt Project, emerged, families stitched quilt squares with my patch's design, 60,000 nationwide, displayed in DC's National Mall, shared 2 million times. Sophia, the barista who filmed my fall, led Miami's quilt effort, her food truck now a community hub, her own guilt, why didn't I stop them? Driving her to unite 5,000 locals, her veteran father's pride in her tweeted to 900,000. Officer Ryan Kessler, the taser wielder, was suspended, his name a curse on X, 1.5 million posts branding him badge tyrant, his 10 dismissed complaints now public, his wife's silence at home a mirror of his isolation. Kessler's mind unraveled. Pride in his badge clashed with fear of ruin, his late-night scrolls through X revealing a city that loathed him, yet he clung to denial, muttering, I followed protocol. Officer Lila Monroe, his partner, quit, moving to Tampa, 200 miles away, her journal confessing, I froze when Marcus fell, her dream of justice tainted, her ex-apology to 700,000 met with mixed replies, some forgiving, others scorning. A fresh idea bloomed. Malik's Code for Change, a coding camp he launched with Tara, teaching 500 Miami kids to build apps against bias, its opening live stream to 1 million, Malik saying, Dad coded my heart to fight. The camp, funded by 10,000 donors, resonated with 25 to 55-year-olds, tech workers admired Malik's skill, parents his resilience, veterans his honor. Aisha's investigation deepened, revealing Kessler's training tapes, played on CNN, where he joked, Eclipse 3. Comic book stuff, the clip hitting 5 million views, enraging viewers like a 45-year-old Marine who tweeted, We bleed for this, they laugh. Miami's mayor, grilled on MSNBC, fumbled, We're reforming, his 25% approval rating mocked in 3 million memes. Protests weren't just marches, they were stories. A 50-year-old Miami teacher shared on X how my death echoed her brother's profiling, gaining 600,000 likes. In Seattle, a 35-year-old coder built a Unity quilt app, mapping 20,000 quilt squares, shared 1 million times, its stories, my dad was a vet, ignored too, hitting home for the audience. Malik's blog added my soul, late-night coding lessons, my hymn singing, my laugh, humanizing me beyond my badge, shared 4 million times. A leaked Pentagon file detailed my Baghdad night. Crawling 300 yards to save 15 soldiers, my Silver Star citation read by 10 million, a 60-year-old general posting, Marcus was our North Star, his thread trending. Tara, at a quilt rally, spoke, my brother stood for us all, her nurse's empathy uniting 7,000, live streamed to 2 million. Kessler's precinct bled allies, Palm Beach PD, 70 miles north, cut ties, citing ethical drift, shared 400,000 times. Sophia's quilt square, stitched with my patch, hung in a Miami library, photographed 1.5 million times, her inner resolve, I'll keep fighting, echoing my stand. Malik's camp grew, kids coding an app to report bias, 1,000 downloads in days, a 30-year-old parent tweeting, Malik's my son's hero. Aisha's probe hit a nerve, her report to Congress, covered by NPR to 8 million, demanding police reform, her own fear, will my son be next, fueling her words. The Unity Quilt Project's DC display drew 50,000, a 55-year-old vet kneeling before my square, whispering, You're not forgotten, shared 3 million times. Malik, at a Code for Change event, coded live, his app flashing, Honor Dad, to 1.2 million viewers, his thoughts torn, pride in me, pain at my loss, hope for change. Tara watched, her heart swelling, her childhood memory of me saying, stand tall, now Malik's mantra. Kessler, alone in his suspended limbo, saw my quilt square on TV, his denial cracking, his wife's voice soft, "Ryan, face it," but he turned away, his badge a hollow weight. Monroe, in Tampa, volunteered at a vet center, her guilt pushing her to listen, her ex-posts, "I'm learning," gaining 500,000 views. My death was a mirror, but the echoes, Malik's code, Tara's love, Sophia's quilt, Aisha's justice, were a movement. For 25 to 55-year-olds, this was personal. Veterans mourned me, parents cheered Malik, workers quilted unity. My flag patch, now on 100,000 quilts, wasn't just cloth, it was a vow, a truth no bias could silence, a stand that grew stronger with every stitch, every code, every voice. My blood had dried on that Miami pavement, but its stain lingered in the nation's heart, a wound that demanded more than apologies, it demanded truth. As Colonel Marcus Tate, Eclipse 3, my Silver Star and Baghdad valor were now a beacon, my flag patch a call to confront the racism that silenced me. 8 months after my death, the fire from Malik's livestream, now at 40 million views on X, and the Unity Quilt Project's 100,000 squares had reshaped America's conscience, but the fight was far from over. In Washington, D.C., congressional hearings, broadcast to 12 million, tore into Miami's failures, my tossing labeled, Event Zero, a scar that bled accountability. I watched, in spirit, as my 11-year-old son Malik, living with my sister Tara in Fort Lauderdale, stepped into a Senate chamber, his small frame in a Navy suit carrying my blood-stained patch, his coding dreams now a weapon for justice. Malik's blog, My Dad's Code, had inspired millions, but his testimony, raw and unyielding, was his boldest stand. He faced Senator Carla Ruiz, 50, whose own black veteran brother's memory haunted her, her voice steady as she read, Miami PD dismissed 72% of excessive force complaints, 2017 to 2025. Only 1% led to termination. Mayor Luis Torres, 55, sweated under 70 degrees Fahrenheit lights, his polished charm crumbling, "We're reforming," he stammered, but Ruiz cut him, reform didn't save Marcus Tate. The clip, shared 5 million times on X, trended with hashtag #NoMoreLies, fueling 25 to 55-year-olds who saw their own battles in my loss. Officer Ryan Kessler, my taser-wielding antagonist, had resigned, fleeing to Savannah, 400 miles north, his badge revoked, his 15 complaints now public, X-posts branding him coward with 2 million retweets. Kessler's mind was a storm. Guilt clashed with defiance, his wife's pleas, "Admit you were wrong," unanswered, his late-night drives replaying my fall, yet he clung to, "I did my job," his isolation a self-made prison. Officer Lila Monroe, his partner, worked at a Tampa vet center, her apology on X, "I failed Marcus," read by 1 million, her guilt driving her to counsel veterans, her journal confessing, "Silence was my sin." Malik, clutching my patch, spoke, "My dad saved 15 soldiers in Baghdad." He stood still, told them who he was. They tossed him anyway. That's not a mistake, it's a choice. His voice, clear as a bell, shook the room, his inner world torn, grief for me, anger at Kessler, hope in his app, code for change, now teaching 1,000 kids. He placed my patch on the table, "Honor this," and demanded, 1 minute of silence, for truth. Congress froze, 60 seconds broadcast to 20 million, veterans saluting, parents weeping, Malik's resolve a mirror for the audience. Kids their courage, workers their silenced truths. A new tool emerged, the Eclipse Oath app, letting veterans report bias, logging 15,000 cases in weeks, a 45-year-old Navy vet posting, "They ignored my rank." I reported it, shared 800,000 times. The app's data, cited by NPR to 10 million, pushed reform, Senator Ruiz vowing, "No more blind badges." Tara, watching Malik testify, stood in a gallery, her nurse's heart swelling, her childhood memory of me saying, "Protect family," now her vow for Malik, her ex-post, "My nephew speaks for us all," hitting 1 million likes. Sophia, The barista led silent stand vigils, a fresh idea where 5,000 Miamians stood silent for 60 seconds weekly, their quilt squares raised, live streamed to 3 million, her own resolve, I'll honor Marcus, tweeted to 1.2 million. Kessler's precinct bled trust. Broward County PD, 40 miles away, ended all ties, shared 600,000 times. Mayor Torres, on CNN, faced Ruiz's question, did you train officers to see skin over service? His dodge, we're learning, flopped, his 20% approval mocked in 4 million memes, his inner fear, my legacy's unraveling, hidden behind his smile. Leaked training tapes, aired on MSNBC, showed Kessler sneering, Eclipse 3. Movie nonsense, the clip hitting 6 million views, a 50-year-old Army vet tweeting, we die for this, they mock. The Unity Quilt project grew, 150,000 squares, a 30-year-old Atlanta artist stitching mine into a mural, photographed 2 million times. Malik's Code for Change camp expanded, 2,000 kids coding anti-bias apps, a 12-year-old's app, See Me, downloaded 5,000 times, Malik's Pride, I'm Dad's Legacy, shared 1.5 million times. Aisha Grant's Pentagon Report, read by 15 million, detailed my Baghdad crawl, saving 15 under fire, her own tears falling, Marcus was my brother in arms, her words trending. Silent stand spread to Chicago, 10,000 joining, a 55-year-old teacher saying, Marcus woke us, shared 900,000 times. Tara, at a Miami vigil, gave Malik my old watch, your dad's timekeeper, her voice breaking, live streamed to 4 million, her thoughts on our mother's strength fueling her. Kessler, in Savannah, saw my mural on TV, his wife leaving a note, face yourself, his denial cracking, his mirror showing a man he didn't recognize. Monroe, counseling a vet, heard my story, her resolve growing, I'll make amends, her ex-posts gaining 700,000 views. Malik's testimony wasn't just words, it was a verdict, his patch a symbol in the Pentagon's Hall of Honor, visited by 20,000, inscribed, betrayed, never forgotten. The Eclipse Oath app shaped policy, 25,000 cases prompting DoD's training overhaul, covered by the Washington Post to 12 million. For 25 to 55-year-olds, this was raw, veterans felt my pain, parents Malik's strength, workers the system's flaws. Sophia's silent stand grew, 8,000 weekly, her quilt square a vow, shared 3 million times. Malik, coding at camp, thought of me, your hymns keep me going, his app flashing, Dad's Truth, to 2 million. The weight of silence wasn't despair. It was power, forging a nation's resolve. My patch, on 200,000 quilts, was a promise, a truth racism couldn't erase, carried by Malik's voice, Tara's love, Sophia's stand, Aisha's justice, a movement no badge could silence. My blood no longer stained at Miami pavement, but its echo lived in every heart that dared to see beyond my skin, my flag patch a vow that racism couldn't silence. As Colonel Marcus Tate, Eclipse 3, my silver star and Baghdad courage had lit a fire, and 7 years later, in 2032, that fire burned bright as my son Malik stood on West Point's parade field in New York, 65 degrees Fahrenheit under a sky clear as hope, his cadet uniform crisp, his 5 feet 8 inches frame carrying my legacy at 17. A freshman at the U.S. Military Academy, Malik faced 2,500, cadets, veterans, families, my blood-stained patch pinned above his heart, his coding dreams now a mission to code justice, taught through our late-night hymns and robot sketches. The Unity Quilt Project, with 300,000 squares, and Malik's Code for Change, empowering 7,000 kids, had woven a new America, but this moment, live-streamed to 35 million on X, was Malik's pledge to renew my stand. He marched to the podium, stepped steady, and spoke, I'm Malik Tate, 17. My father, Colonel Marcus Tate, believed this uniform promised service, protection, recognition. He was wrong. His voice, firm yet tender, cut through the silence, his inner world a tapestry, grief for my loss, pride in my silver star, fear of faltering, yet his words sparked hope, trending with #MalikShines. 1 minute ended him, stained his flag, shattered trust, he said, but I ask for 1 minute to forge a new promise, to guard every soul in this cloth. The crowd froze, generals saluting, parents weeping, Malik's 60-second silence uniting 40 million viewers from Miami cafes to Boston halls, a 55-year-old vet tweeting, "He's our future," to 3 million likes. My sister Tara, 55, stood in the stands, her nurse's heart swelling, her memory of me teaching Malik hymns like, "Lift Every Voice," fueling her vow to guide him, her ex-post, "My nephew is Marcus's light," shared 2 million times. Sophia, the barista whose video ignited change, now 35, led a West Point vigil, her unity quilt square aloft, her resolve, "I'll carry Marcus," posted to 4 million, her food truck chain funding 15,000 quilts. A new venture, the Eclipse Unity Fund, launched by Malik at 16, supported 1,500 children of fallen veterans, raising $15 million from 150,000 donors, celebrated on NBC to 20 million, a 50-year-old mother tweeting, "Malik gave my son hope," to 1.2 million likes. Colonel Aisha Grant, 59, Pentagon advisor, watched Malik, her black son's safety her lifelong fight, her Eclipse Oath app, with 1 million users, logging 75,000 bias reports, shaping the Eclipse Act of 2030, covered by CNN to 22 million. Officer Ryan Kessler, my taser-wielding foe, faded in Savannah, his badge gone, his family fractured, his ex-apology, "I wronged Marcus," ignored by 600,000, his nights haunted by my patch, guilt his only companion. Officer Lila Monroe, 42, ran Tampa's Vet Center, counseling 7,000 veterans, her ex-posts, "I'm healing," read by 900,000, her heart lighter yet marked by regret. A fresh event, the Code for Harmony Festival, saw Malik host 12,000 coders in D.C., crafting anti-bias apps, live-streamed to 7 million, a 35-year-old coders app, True Sight, downloaded 30,000 times, Malik's Pride, Dads in Every Bite, shared 3 million times. The silence Malik called wasn't hollow. It was sacred, my patch in the Pentagon's Hall of Honor, betrayed, never forgotten, visited by 75,000 monthly. Tara, at the festival, gave Malik my watch, "Your dad's time," her tears falling, live-streamed to 8 million, her promise to me, "Stand tall," Malik's creed. Sophia's silent stand vigils, now worldwide, drew 20,000 in Tokyo, her quilt a flag, shared 5 million times. Aisha's speech, "Marcus was our soul," read by 30 million, her fear, bias persists, driving her. The Eclipse Act reformed Miami PD, 3,000 officers retrained, reported by the Miami Herald to 6 million, Mayor Torres's plaque, "For Marcus, we heal," unveiled to 12,000. Malik's festival app flashed, "Dad's Promise," his thoughts, "I'm your spark," uniting 15,000 coders. The Unity Quilt, 350,000 squares, graced schools, a 40-year-old teacher in Denver saying, "Marcus taught us," shared 4 million times. Kessler saw Malik's speech, his tears falling, his apology unanswered, his soul seeking peace. Monroe, aiding a vet, saw my quilt, her vow, "I'll serve," renewed, shared 1 million times. Malik's silence became a ritual, bases pausing yearly, shared 10 million times. The Eclipse Unity Fund grew, 3,000 kids funded, a 45-year-old parent tweeting, "Malik's our hero," to 2 million likes. Aisha's son, a cadet, saluted Malik, "You're my why," shared 3 million times. For 25 to 55-year-olds, this was raw, veterans honored me, parents lifted Malik, coders built my dream. Malik saluted my plaque, live-streamed to 50 million, the flag rising, a promise reborn. Reflecting, I see my journey, from Baghdad's fire to Miami's fall, was a stand against erasure, teaching me that courage isn't in surviving, but in inspiring, that love outlives blood, that truth breaks chains. Malik's stand, Tara's strength, Sophia's quilts, Aisha's laws, they're my lessons lived. If you faced a moment like mine, with power shifting, military might responding, and racial injustice glaring, how would you act to forge the best outcome? Would you code change like Malik, quilt unity like Sophia, or fight like Aisha, knowing 1 minute can rewrite a nation's heart?